much for tuning in for another episode. If you're new here, my name is Madison. I talk about all things spiritual and metaphysical on my channel. So if that interests you, I'd love to have you follow along. So today we are talking about the year of the fire horse. So I'm sure you guys have heard people talking about how we're making this transition from the year of the snake to the year of the fire horse. So let's talk about it because this is actually under the Chinese zodiac. So this is not with the traditional calendar year. It's not like we're already in the year of the fire horse. We are going to transition on February 17th from the year of the snake to the year of the fire horse. So here's why this is significant is we are moving from a phase of being in a year of transformation, growth, shedding, letting go of people, places, situations, ideas, and mindsets that really weren't aligned for our highest good. And then we're stepping into this period of a lot more stability, momentum, forward movement. But also, whenever I was channeling this message, like, what are some of the themes of the year of the fire horse? A big thing that came through is there's going to be a lot of supportive energy with family, friends, community. Like, there's going to be a big people centric focus or maybe refocus in 2026 that was really cool to see because it feels like last year we were kind of like disconnected as a collective, and it feels like this year there was a big supportive energy as well as communication and trust and reliance on others when needed. And that's not to say you should, pawn your shit off on other people. That's to say those of us who maybe don't normally let people in or share what's going on in our lives maybe should do that a little more. So that was really cool to see. Two other themes that were coming through are really this concept of building a firm foundation in the coming year. And there was a really solid theme of finances coming through. So I was seeing two pools of maybe financial things to happen in the year of the horse. If you are new in your career, this year for you is focusing on building reoccurring long-term streams of income. If you were later in your career, you were more focused on how do you get to that retirement point. And it's like if you just go all in on like one focus, it was kind of showing that's the biggest way to make an impact. And based on where you are, that may be where your focus needs to be for this year. So if you are a horse, all of this is going to be amplified. And if you are a horse, I mean, you can look at like a Chinese zodiac wheel and you can see based on what year you're born, which animal you are. And so if you are a horse, which is going to be people born in 2014, 2002, 1990, and 1978, if you were born in any of those years, you are a horse. So these themes are going to be amplified, or you will probably notice more of these themes popping up maybe than the people around you who are experiencing similar themes, but maybe not to the same degree. So here's what I want you to do. Pause the video if you need to, get a journal, and we are about to do some journaling for 2026. I'm going to walk you guys through just some different things to brainstorm. So I want you to think about you in January of 2027. January 1st, 2027, let's picture that version of self. What does that version of self look like? What does that version of self feel like? What is that version of self's habits? What does a normal Tuesday look like for that version of self? What does a normal Saturday look like for that version of self? What does your bank account look like? What does your living space look like? Are you doing the same job or are you doing a different job? This is just me throwing out a lot of different things for you to brainstorm so you can kind of grab and pick whichever ones feel aligned, because some people are like, my living space is not going to change, my job's not going to change, but I do want my relationships to change, so I'm going to journal on that. But overall, focus on that future version of self. What do you want that future version of self to be, do, have? Where do you want to live? What do you want a normal day to look like? And then once you have this like future self vision or person sort of built, then what I want you to do is I just want you to kind of casually check in maybe once a month with your future self. And what are you doing to make sure that, when next year comes, you've done the things that you need to do to become that version of self. Because I always believe anything that you're meant to do, there's a part you're supposed to do and there's a part the universe is supposed to do. If we do our part, the universe will show up and do theirs. So this is really the piece that is your part. So again, tapping into future you 2027. What does this version of self look like? What are they wearing? How much is in their bank account? Visualize yourself opening your bank account, opening your bank app. What's in there? What's your living space look like? What kind of habits do you have? What sort of relationships do you have? Friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships? Do you travel? Do you have spiritual practices? What do those look like? Those are all the things to think about and journal on. And then once you have, here's what I want it to look like, put it on a calendar. Okay, I want to start having, traveling 3 times a year. So I'm going to go ahead and commit that in these 3 months, that's when I'm going to travel. Like, start making some of these goals tangible, because that's really what's going to bring yourself into that future version of self that you want to be a year from now. So I hope this gives you a little bit to think about, and just journal on, meditate on, visualize on. I hope you all have a beautiful week. If you want to have more of this content, you can hop over to my 5D membership, which is where I share things like how to access your Akashic records, how to do your own past life regression. We talk about things like the concept of time being linear versus simultaneous. So much good stuff over there. You can actually try the 5D membership for a week for free. So if you would like to try that, hop on over to the website. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, I actually offer Akashic Records readings. If you've never heard of Akashic Records, it's like your soul purpose, your soul library. Why did you come here? What are you supposed to do? If you're somebody who's going through a spiritual awakening, or you're somebody who's trying to figure out, like, what am I supposed to do with my gifts? This is a perfect reading for you to really dive into why did you come here with these gifts? What are you supposed to do with them? What does kind of your mission look like? Or if you just want to see your past lives, or you want to see your soul contracts, all those things are in the Akashic Records. So you can book a reading at the link in my bio or at the link below. As always, I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Happy healing, and I will see you next Tuesday for the next episode.